Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Ryan. Today's the day, JD14. That's what we get to try. So I got a nice little pour of this last night. So one of our Patreon members, Mr. Welsh, was in my neck of the woods. He managed to get his hands on a bottle of JD14. He actually stopped by my house last night. We shared a few pours, swapped stories. It was a good time, and even compared it to my JD12. It was a great time. So big shout out to Welsh. He let me take an extra sample for a video. So that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it, let it open up a bit, and then we'll chat about JD14. All right. Now, he was very generous. He offered me a full 2-ounce sample, but I had already taken a pour. He had taken a pour. And I was like, this is a special bottle, man. Make it last. I just took one. So I'm just going to be sipping 1 ounce of it today and offering my thoughts. So base stats you need to know. Obviously, it is 14-year-old Tennessee whiskey. So it's bourbon up to the point that it does the Lincoln County process. If that changes it from bourbon for you or not, I don't really care. But it's bourbon up to that point at the very least. 14 years on it. The proof, pretty hot as compared to the 12-year, which is 108, right? No, 107. 107. But the 14 is 126.3 proof. So it has a lot of extra heat to it to accompany that age, which I really do appreciate. It's that standard mash bill of 80% corn and then 12% malted barley, 8% rye. Okay, so that's the mash bill there. And the MSRP on the JD14 is actually only $150. Very, I think, reasonable for a very fair price for such an illustrious bottle, 14 years coming out of Jack Daniel's. So, and something they knew that they would have no problem selling. I mean, they had to know before they bottled that up and branded it and put a price tag on it. They had to know that they would have no issues at all selling this product. They still decided to not hike the price up to an outrageous, price tag, even though they very well could. They chose not to. I respect that. Secondary is a different story. I think I saw it listed on Fruit Bat for $850. $850. It's almost criminal, isn't it? It's ridiculous, but I'm sure it'll sell. Someone's gonna have enough disposable income and enough of a desire just to have it on their shelf, right? They'll pay it. They wouldn't do that if it didn't work, right? Now, I think we need to just go ahead and get in on this, though, yeah? First things first, though, color. Beautiful. It's dark mahogany. Also noticing how viscous it is. Leaves a nice oily coating on the glass. Very first things I get on the nose. A ton of charred oak. This is the wonderful leather sort of quality. There's also this wonderful, bitter dark chocolate. But I think not just the dark chocolate alone, but it's like a dark chocolate covered, like a red fruit, right? Like maybe a candied cherry wrapped in, dipped in dark chocolate. It is by no means bashful at all. It is very big and bold, assertive, but not off-putting. Just smells like well-seasoned oak, right? If you're a fan of things like leather and tobacco and spice on a whiskey, you're going to love the nose of this for sure. It is beautiful. And unmistakably Jack Daniel's. I said this to Welsh when he was over last night and we were sipping on this. I was like, you couldn't just sneak this past me in a blind or something like that. Like, I would nose this and I would taste it and I would be like, that's JD, right? 100%, that's JD. And that's not like a flex for someone who's like, oh, I'm very familiar with the way that JD noses and tastes. I just think that JD is so distinct that most people who drink a fair amount of Jack Daniel's products would probably be able to pick out their distillate as well. Which kudos to Jack Daniel's for having such a distinct profile, right? And this is that distinct profile just taken further, richer, a little bit of that, like drier too. Well, let's try it. Cheers. Come on, are you kidding me? It's a really interesting dichotomy, just in terms of mouthfeel. Like, it starts very viscous, but then it ends dry and tannic, you know what I mean? So you get that dichotomy of being oily and thick, but then you also have this drying mouthfeel effect as well. It reminds me of kind of mouthfeel you'd get on a really tannic red wine of some kind. But it does have a bright fruity quality to it. Like I said, those red fruits, I think of cherry predominantly. But yeah, a lot of bitter chocolate, tobacco, and leather as well. I think of like those Ghirardelli dark chocolate brownies, right? Kind of has that kind of a vibe. You cook them just so the inside is still just a little bit gooey, you know what I'm saying? That dark chocolate gooey brownie batter. But it's definitely bringing the heat too at that proof point. If you liked the 10 and the 12, Like, this just feels to me like a very natural progression. I prefer the 12 to the 10. I think the 10 is delicious. I'd always be happy to have a pour of that. I prefer the 12. It had just a little bit more body to it, a little bit more robustness. This is now going to say, what if we had the 12, but a little bit more seasoned oak and more proof as well? And that's going to make it a little bit drier. I think the cherry notes come out a little bit more with the higher proof than they do on the 12. So if you like that fruity component as well, the 14 is going to bring that forward in a way that the 12 doesn't quite do, right? The 12 has the leather, the tobacco, the spice, and maybe a little bit of the chocolatiness too. But this is going to elevate the oak profile. It's also going to bring that fruity component in as well. Dynamite. Dynamite. I can totally see why people are going bananas over this. Absolutely. Come on. There's like no doubt about it. If you see a bottle of JD14 at or near MSRP, it is a must buy. I mean, it is a gotta buy it kind of a bottle. Straight up. Because I guarantee that even if you don't like JD14, you know somebody who wants that bottle. And you can help a buddy out, for sure. If you're looking for a buddy to take a bottle off your hands, I know a guy. The guy is me. I am that guy. I'm also looking for a replacement for my JD12 this year because I love the JD12. It's one of my favorite bottles that I have on my shelf. And you can see it's getting pretty low because I'm a firm believer that good whiskey should be drank with friends. I've shared that with several people. And, you know, it's always good to swap bourbon and stories. And I don't like letting stuff sit for too long on my shelves. I think that good whiskey should be shared, should be drank. So there's no closed bottles in my collection. You know, they get popped, they get shared, they get passed around. And I'm running real low here. So I would love to get a refill on that. Also, I would love to have the 14. So I'm going to keep my hunt going on. West Michigan's always late to get stuff. Like, we just don't get stuff early, on time, or whatever. It always comes late. By the time I get my hands on bottles organically, not through wheeling and dealing and trading with buddies and stuff like that, if I find it organically, it's usually a couple of months after people have already done full reviews and stuff and tastings and stuff like that on their channels. It's just the nature of things. But anyways, thank you so much, Welsh, for sharing this amazing pour with me. I really appreciate it. I need to give this thing a score for my scale, and I think it would just be unfair to give it anything under a 9 on my scale. I think the guys, who was it? I think it was John. Recently, he told me, he's like, you've given out a grand total of 4 9s on your channel in the history of your channel. So this will be number 5, and I'm going to give it a 9.1. Give it a 9.1. This is, without a doubt, the best Tennessee whiskey I've ever had. I've had some really good Coy Hills, but obviously those are like, you know, they vary bottle to bottle. They're not all the same because of the way that they do that product line. But you're going to have uniformity with the JD14 batch 1 because it is a batch. But this is it. This is the culmination of Tennessee whiskey's history and knowledge, all pouring all of that into one love child, and that is the JD14. So hats off to Jack Daniel's. 9.1 from me. Gotta buy it. Amazing whiskey. And with that, I say, check out our Discord. We have a wonderful community. People like Welsh sharing what they've got, meeting up, helping each other find bottles, generally just enjoying each other's company. Wonderful dudes, and I love them to death. All of them are such wonderful contributors to our community. So check that out. Otherwise, you can also join our Patreon group. The base tier is just $1 a month just to get into the Patreon lounge and see what we're doing, what we're talking about, and if we got any activities going on. So feel free to check that out too. Cheers, my friends. May you live richly and get better with age. And I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.